Hello, everyone. I'm the Vacuuminator.
I'm Buster.
And this week in Toku, we're going to be discussing 15 years of SH Figuarts, the King Oger trailer, and whatever the happening with the Lightning Collection right now. But before all that, Buster, how you been?
Shit.
Really? You had a birthday?
It was mixed. Okay. It's not been a great week, especially following the events of last week. It's
You're in recovery mode.
Yeah, not to mention I had to frickin' fight with a bunch of people who who just don't care about ethical consumption and frickin' I don't know, it's dumb shit.
Why you be engaging with those fuckers, man?
I don't want. They just keep coming to me, and I just keep venting about it to friends, and it's just
I mean, I do know it can get annoying, but also like there's this cool thing called the mute button.
Yeah, I'm gonna be blocking people like very soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't want to say like getting annoyed about that is invalid, buddy, but I think one of your biggest weaknesses is you don't know when to just fucking block people.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I'm a bit too trusting at times. We're just like, oh, maybe they'll get better.
Mm-hmm. Like I've gotten in the last couple of years, actually I think 2021 was when it really switched over to this for me. I've kind of gotten to a point where if somebody says something dumb politically and it doesn't seem like I can easily argue them down, then I just straight up unfollow them. And if they start sending that shit to me actively, then I'm gonna tell them to stop. And if they don't stop after the first time I tell them, they're blocked.
So 3-strike system.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, how are you, Mr. Cuminator? Are you doing better than my punished arc?
I'm all right. I've been getting used to a new compressed work schedule that we're going to be on until the beginning of May, which is nice because now I have Mondays off. So usually we should be able to do this show a little earlier in the day. However, this week we weren't able to because I had a ton of shit to get done today that had piled up from not being able to get shit done last week. And it's also just going to be tougher in general on me because I'm going to be working 4 10-hour shifts during the week instead of 5 8-hour ones. So I'm going to be much more exhausted during the days I am working than I would have been otherwise. But I think it's a fair trade-off to have like an extra full day every week where I can just buckle down and get shit done.
Yeah, and even that, you could still like read comics at work, right?
I can. It's just like only in certain parts of the building because the Wi-Fi in my building is very spotty.
Yeah.
But
I might hook you up with an app where you can download comics. So.
What you talking about? You got like Hoopla there, or is this some third-party sketchy thing?
It's more sketchy, but like still safe. I'll let you know later.
Oh, sick. But yeah, that's been going on. I actually didn't spend a lot of time at home today, despite having the day off. I was driving all around town, going to appointments and shit. I did get all of that stuff for this month pretty much squared away. So the next few Mondays, I'm probably just going to be at home working on stuff, both around the house and video wise. So
epic.
It's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to the spring now that like I'm over my flu and I've got this new schedule and stuff's starting to rock and roll again. You know, we hit a big old roadblock there halfway through January, but now that we're past it, I think things might be all right, at least in terms of my personal life.
Yeah, it's good to hear because it's like you deserve a W, you know?
Aw, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
But you know who else deserves W's?
The entire corporation of Modular Media?
I was more so going to word it like our viewers, because supporting Modular Media is in and of itself a W. And if you enjoy this podcast, you should support Modular Media because it's brought to you by that group. We're on the Modular Media YouTube channel, so please like this video, leave a comment down below with some of your thoughts on some of the topics we're going to be discussing later on in this podcast. Subscribe and ring the bell in order to enable notifications and get not just this show, but all the other great podcasts we we do here at Modular Media, like Analytical Fanboys, like the No Prize Podcast, like Modular Components, sent straight to your inbox as soon as they're released. And follow us on social media in order to keep up with news and stuff about upcoming releases at the Modular Media on Twitter, r/Modular Media on Reddit, and at Modular Media on Tumblr. But that's all the plugging and tugging I got to do for this week. Let's get into the news. First and foremost, our top story, X Plus Gigantic series has announced that they are doing a Godzilla 1995 Final Battle version statue, or Burning Godzilla. If you're not aware of this line, we've talked about it a couple times before. These are the ultra big Godzilla statues that are like as big as a person's torso, and cost a shit zillion dollars. This one specifically is going to be releasing in May, and it's going to run you approximately 630 Japanese dollars. And like, for the amount of paint and resin that goes into making something this big and detailed, I can see it, but also I would never pay that kind of money for a Godzilla statue.
I'd never pay that kind of money for, like, most things.
Mm-hmm. And kind of continuing on with that trend, Facto, which is a company I've never heard of before, announced that they are doing a Godzilla versus King Ghidorah from the Legendary Universe statue, which is going to be it looks like it's supposed to be roughly the same size as the statue we were just talking about. There's no measurements in these photos, but it's going to be coming out actually February 25th, and it's going to be approximately $415. Again, I think this looks really nice, but like, I have neither the money nor the space for it.
I don't even like King of the Monsters, so why would I buy this?
I like the designs can kind of overpower my feelings about the media sometimes, and like,
Fair.
This is a case where I'm like, these two, because this is two statues that kind of interlock into a battle pose, and together I think they'd make for a really sick mantelpiece, but like, I don't have a mantle of my own.
Yeah, I'm no Matt McMuscles.
One last bit of Godzilla news this week, which is that Hiya Toys has posted a preview photo of their Godzilla King of the Monsters King Ghidorah, just showing the neck joints and a little bit of the wings of the figure. Now, I think we've talked about this line a little bit previously. This is a fairly new line that hasn't had a proper release yet. We've only seen Godzilla and Kong from Godzilla vs. Kong, and they're up for pre-order right now. But they're actually going to be in the 1/18th or 3 3/4 inch scale. So this is going to be much smaller than what most people are used to dealing with. Like, think about half the size of what the SH Monster Arts of this would be.
I see.
And I think for that size, this looks really good. They packed a lot of painted and sculpted detail into this, and I actually like the way the neck joints here look a fair bit better than the monster arts of this design. But I think whether or not this is something I would be interested in getting is going to depend a lot upon what the full body looks like. We've yet to see a full photo of this thing. And I'm kind of just waiting with bated breath for that. I mean, I wasn't already invested in this line, but it's something I've really enjoyed spectating so far, and I'm interested to see how like they do more of these designs.
I like that for term of like spectating toy lines. Like this is the real Vacuuminator sports.
That's a legit thing. A lot of people will go like, I can't afford to collect that, but I'll like keep up with the news and watch reviews and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's basically what the internet's for.
All right, let's move into Ultraman news. Now, this is something we're going to talk about a couple times during this episode, but SH Figuarts, that brand team from Bandai, is holding a big event in Japan right now to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the line. I believe it's been going since 2007. and it's just like a big exposition with a lot of their earliest releases and their newest releases being showcased side by side, as well as like some behind the scenes photography and write-ups on display. There's been some very interesting photos of the exposition floating around, but concerning this podcast specifically, they have shown a few prototypes off. Now, all of the stuff from the event that is new has had those infamous display-only placards in front of them, so we don't know if any of this stuff is actually going to get released, but these are prototypes they're showing off, so they're probably trying to gauge interest about a possible release, because this one would probably be pretty easy for them to do, considering it's straight up a repaint. Ultraman Trigger Truth was shown, which I completely forgot this was a unique form.
Because he never used it in Decker. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, despite all our problems with Trigger, I love this form a lot. Because,
Really?
like, if we look at it from, like, a tunnel vision where Trigger works, this is a beautiful form. And also, I just like because Trigger Truth, it's the truth about Trigger. He was originally Dark Trigger. So, he has, like, he along with his current multi-type, he has elements of Dark type. Like, you can see the eyes and the black paint that's, like, put in specific sections. And
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
Thematically, I can agree with that. Like, it's a good form from a story sense, but I gotta admit, all these colors together so multi-layered on one suit doesn't really work for me. I like a lot of Trigger's forms, and that's why I've been tempted to pick up Figuarts for it, despite not liking the show. But this is probably on the lower end of them. It's not a suit I'd outright call bad, but it's not one of my favorites.
Better than Glitter.
Oh yeah. Glitter is so far below this. It's like in the fucking sub.
Like, people complain about Ultraman 80's suit. I actually think Glitter Trigger's the worst Ultra suit. I'm sorry, that's my.
I haven't seen Ultraman 80 in a minute. Let me Google this man.
Yeah. You're just a goofy guy.
Why would people complain about that? He looks great.
I guess because of the different eyes. I don't know.
I think the different eyes are sick.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Leave
At least we
Ultraman
know
80
Vac
alone.
is based. At least we know Vac is finally based.
Nah. Yeah, everyone leave Ultraman 80 alone and I guess appreciate Trigger Truth, because we may or may not actually get it. And, you know, it looks about as solid as any of the other Trigger SH Figuarts.
Yeah, and I heard those were good, so.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and move right along into Kamen Rider news, because, Team Rider has been promoting over the last week or so that Bandai is having a Gashapon US pop-up store in LA right now, and at it are several Kamen Rider themed machines. Now, I was only able to find the tweet for one of these, but there was one that had like little vinyl resin, I'm not sure what, figurines of characters from the original series. You got Rider 1, obviously, and you got a couple different Kaijin. And then there was one that had a bunch of miniature belts that were all belts for shows that you can't fucking watch in the US.
Lamau. I know it's like just an import from Japan, but Lamau.
Yeah, that was... Oh man, you know I had to clown on them for that. And I did try scrolling back through my Twitter, I just couldn't find it there either.
Yeah.
Because I tweet a lot. Follow me on Twitter, @TheVacuuminator.
Yeah, I'm tweeting right now. I have to reply to someone.
Hey. Alright, well, getting back to SH Figuarts news, we did actually have a pre-order announcement for this week, which is SH Figuarts Black Sun Minami Kotaro. This is officially getting released. I don't think it says this is a P Bandai exclusive. I think this is general release.
They give a P Bandai link.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like all the Black Sun stuff has been P Bandai, so I want to put it past them.
So hey, Team Rider, where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
The likeness is pretty good. I think the hair is like the only issue I have. The hair is a bit like,
I like the face a whole lot, actually. My only real problem with this is that coat does not look like it's going to get out of the way of articulation a lot, and I think his neck is a bit long.
Yeah, maybe that's just an actor thing. I don't know. Probably.
Mhm.
I like the face is good. The hair just annoys me. I don't know.
Yeah, but it looks fairly solid, pretty accurate to the show. Looks great on Battle Hopper,
Oh
actually.
yeah.
Though he probably could do with a more like looking forward alternate head or something like that.
Yeah. I already get it's expensive to get just one head made of a popular actor, so I understand why there's probably not going to be alternate heads. But also, come on.
Yeah. No, overall, this looks solid enough. And I mean, if you're a big fan of Black Sun, you're probably going to want to pick this up. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Black Sun, but I haven't been able to pick up any of the SH Figuarts because I don't feel like it. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Well,
I'll get to them eventually.
them's the breaks. I actually figure you would go for the Soto sets instead.
Kind of like after my experience with the Don Brothers Sotos, I'm like, this line's not for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
All right.
so
Well, let's. Sorry, you had something else to say?
No, I think I prefer Figuarts. I'm a you guy now.
One of us.
Yeah, Zen Keizer really sold me on Figuarts.
Wait, I hated Figuarts up until like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Figuarts.
Yeah, let's get back to the 15th anniversary events. They also showcased a bunch of Kamen Rider Geats prototypes, mainly a Slot Fever version of Geats, doing both a double boost form and a double magnum form, and Nago in her beat form. And I think these both look pretty great. Nago maybe has a bit too much gappiness in the elbows for my taste, but other than that, pretty solid, and I hope these do get officially announced, though if we're being honest, I just thought of this. Nago's probably going to be a P Bandai exclusive.
Oh yeah, Tycoon and Buffa are, so
Yeah.
I have no idea how they're gonna do the buckle.
Main form gets wide release anymore.
Yeah, it sucks. I have no idea how they're gonna release the freaking Fever buckle, given its thing. Maybe they're just gonna release it like a scarf part and a just a accessory with the reverse magnum boost. So I don't know.
I think it would be a cool idea if like they just released a part set, kind of like the retail line did at P Bandai.
Yeah, well, that might be a bit tricky given how pricey Figuarts are. So, but like Nago looks great. I really wish, I hope I can buy her because that's a really good suit. I like that.
Yeah, I do like that suit a lot, actually.
Yeah, like I remember people were dissing on it, but it's really grown on me like since like the initial reveal.
It looks so much more toyetic than any of the other like big raise buckle forms in Geats, in my opinion.
It's not a bad thing. And besides, like the raise buckle itself is kind of toyetic, so.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't mean it as a bad thing. Like you got to remember, I'm a toy guy, so if something looks toyetic to me, that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, you gotta be specific on that. You gotta be like toyetic, positive, toyetic, negative. You know.
As long as it fits in with the general aesthetic of the show, I never mind something being toyetic. It's only if it like looks completely out of place, or if the way it's written into the show is literally just, we need to sell this toy. Just have it in a scene, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Also, this is
maybe Buster, how you doing?
Who? Oh, Braun Buster? Oh, freaking Kiva. I don't know. Yeah. Also, this made me realize my big issue with every other writer that isn't Geats and Geats. They need pants.
Yeah.
It just feels like Geats.
Yeah, we got some Donald Duck energy going on in this show, and it's not great.
Yeah, I mean, like they're good like up forms, but like I wouldn't mind it if they didn't give Geats like a perfect combo. You know, just annoying.
But I suppose that's yet to be seen. And hey, another thing that's yet to be seen, because we're not officially discussing it until later, but there's a new Kamen Rider in this week's episode of Geats, and we all kind of knew he was coming. The photos of him have been floating around for a while. I just kept forgetting to put them in the news.
I think we talked about it.
I don't remember ever talking about it. I remember constantly seeing photos and going like, oh yeah, I need to put that in the news, and then just not doing it.
Anyway, point is, his belt is premium Bandai because it has the demon style LEDs.
Yeah, it's the same belt as Glare. So they literally just put that henshin in the belt. It can do both henshins. Which
Yeah, I think it'll be like different cards you can swipe in, which is pretty neat.
That's cool. That's added value to a ridiculously expensive toy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for Rider news. Now let's oh boy, let's get into
Now time for
Sentai.
the Hellboy, not the Hellboy, the hell area of the news.
Fantastic segue. So
tired.
Deca Ranger, or don't fuck me up like that. Shout Factory's Deca Ranger DVD has been shipping out. I believe we reported on that happening last week or the week beforehand. And people are actually starting to receive it. And we've gotten some in-hand reports. And they ain't great!
Let's start with the good one first.
Okay, so they did include the Deca Ranger to Magi Ranger handoff, which, for those of you who aren't aware, Super Sentai handoffs are kind of a tradition, just a little vignette at the end of each show, and Deca Ranger was the first one to do it. So the fact that they included that is a really nice bonus, and hopefully is them soft confirming, yeah, we are doing Magi Ranger.
If they're gonna do Magi Ranger, they might need some,
They might need some help.
Yeah, because... Okay, should I discuss the subtitle shit?
Well, the basics of it is, as I understand it, and this is a usual thing with Shout Factory, where they farm the subtitling out to a contractor who does that kind of stuff. And I guess they either had a different person or that person got lazy this time around, because the subtitles seem to be plagiarized from certain fan subs from the past in a few certain ways that I don't quite understand, because I'm a stupid American.
Yeah.
Buster, explain.
They apparently copied Burn Ladetta subs. Now, Burn Ladetta subs has issued a statement saying, hey, we don't really mind it. It sucks, but like, what you gonna do? But that's still not good if apparently they didn't get paid. So, I hope they got, or at least maybe they got paid privately. I don't mind them using fan subs or like fan subs as a basis, but pay them. Pay your translators. Well, that's a big issue.
It's a complicated thing, isn't it? Because, like, I agree with you. I don't care if they use fan subs as long as it's good fan subs. Like, my thing has always been, I just want to be able to understand the show. I don't care who fucking translates it, as long as they actually translate it.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I can understand being upset that these people didn't get paid. But there's also the flip side of what they did, translating the show without a license, is technically illegal. So, like, on the one hand, yeah, they did work, and their work was used for something official. They probably should be paid for it, but this is fucking Toei we're talking about. I think Toei would just assume sue them out of existence if they were able to figure out who they are.
Yeah, at least give them like a neat little bonus you did it check. I don't know.
Send them a free copy.
It just pisses. I don't know, man. Especially as I see like more and more of the Western anime industry freaking not pay translate.
Companies are gonna like that. That's been an ongoing discussion recently. Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I was just gonna say that's been a discussion that's been going on a lot recently, not just with stuff like this, but with like all the AI algorithm shit and whatnot. And it's like, I can understand everyone's frustration with this kind of stuff, but like all my life I've been able to see stuff like this coming, and corporations are always gonna do whatever they can get away with to save a buck and keep it for themselves. So like, I don't know, it might just be something that comes with age, or maybe I'm just a cynical realist asshole, but like, it doesn't surprise me and outrage me as much as certain other things that we're going to talk about today.
Fair, I guess, but like, I don't know, it still pisses me off, like, even if we could see it coming, you know?
Yeah. I will say what does frustrate me with this release is apparently copies have been arriving damaged in a similar manner to how my Kamen Rider Kuga set was damaged, with the actual case breaking apart before even being undone from the shrink wrap. There's only been one report of this actually happening so far, but the fact that it happened at all, like I'm watching this video again and I just noticed when this person takes off the shrink wrap, the like entire top of the case is damaged. That is just plain ridiculous. That should not be happening.
And it happened with my 5-man release, meaning despite doing this for nearly 10 plus sets, this problem is not fixed. What is going on? Frickin' fix your casing.
Use better quality plastics.
Yeah.
It's as simple
I
as
get
that.
it, I get it, like plastics, like people are trying to be more environmentally costly, but you're already gonna if you're gonna do it right, you know?
Well, there's a difference between being environmentally friendly and like using experimental biodegradable plastics, and then there's using thin-ass brittle shit that breaks apart the moment you put any pressure on it.
Yeah, and the fact that this has been an issue for multiple sets.
And there's like also just an incredibly simple solution to it. Don't make the cases out of clear plastic. Like I've talked about before in like my own videos and shit, how I don't mind clear plastic being used on toys if it is incorporated into the visual design well and it fits the character, but for stuff like this that is meant to last and be like a case for something, don't use clear plastic. It is scientifically proven to be more brittle than opaque shit.
I feel like we'll be coming back to quality control issues later. That's all.
Entirely possible. It's entirely possible. But for now, let's talk about something exciting. The first teaser for Osama Sentai King Oger aired this week during Superhero Time, and it looks like a show.
It looks pretty.
Mm-hmm. The suits look as good in motion as they did in those high quality scans we got. I don't really have any kind of like qualms about them. I think the cinematography is pretty good in these action shots. Whether or not they're going to be able to keep that up for the whole show remains to be seen, because I'm willing to bet this is all from the first episode. But
yeah, I mean, Kazuo Kamurocho does know his way around a camera, because this whole has some really beautiful stuff, and like his episodes of Build, just Kazuo Kamurocho is just like basically like one of the brightest new stars at Toei, like since Build, you know?
Yeah, he's a good ass director. The only real new information we get from this, aside from seeing how some of the choreography and directing is going to work, though, is we get a little glimpse at what the foot soldiers are going to look like, and they're b-boys.
Like black.
What's going on there?
Very interesting.
Or wait, no, they're not bees. What the? Oh, I think they're dragonflies.
Like, well, someone else is a dragonfly here.
Who's up with these designs? They are very unusual. I can't quite pin them down.
Like, freaking Jeff Fusion is glitching out for me, so I can't even watch the trailer.
Oh, I'll get you the YouTube link. Hang on.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see them in the foreground and the background of the first couple shots there. Not that link, god damn it. Discord. All right,
it's coming after you.
There's the teaser.
All right, yeah.
Oh my god.
I do like the announcer's grandiose voice. Oh, they're like maggots.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can totally see that.
Yeah, they're like, because it's all bug themed, so they're like maggots. That just makes sense.
It's also just interesting because they are such a bright color for foot soldiers. I usually expect them to have like a more subdued pattern to them.
Yeah, but I guess like that works for the bug motif. So
yeah. King Oger is looking interesting. Would be interested in a press conference, maybe sometime in the next couple weeks, though, eh?
Yeah, I mean, like, nobody's like happy to let go of Dawn Brothers because Dawn Brothers is so good, but also you got to sell us on the next show. You know?
Definitely. But let's go ahead and get into Power Rangers news. First and foremost, Julian Jordan, who played young Cat in the Alien Ranger saga, recently posted to her Instagram a never-before-seen behind-the-scenes photo from that season, which shows the area where the young cast members did their schooling during the shooting of the show, which I don't know how aware people are aware of production stuff like that. But yeah, when you work with child actors, you have to set aside time for them to do schooling on set. So clearly they had like a little production room off to the side where also they just casually had Megazord suits hanging out, which is kind of hilarious.
Kind of like a way to just be like, let's make a fun learning environment, you know?
Yeah, or let's get this out of the way while we're shooting another scene.
Yeah, just liven up the room, you know?
But that is not the only bit of new information about previous seasons that has come to light. Raul over at Listen Anyway recently did an interview with Blair McAllister, who was an actress on Mystic Force, and found out that she pulled double duty in one episode as young Udana. And I was shocked just to find out that that we didn't know who young Udana was beforehand. That's kind of again, we talked about this last week with Stuffing, I believe, but I like these like little bits of previously unknown information about the show coming to light randomly. That always excites me a little.
It also kind of puts into perspective, man, people gotta credit people more.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet they just had like one stock credit sequence they slapped on every episode.
Yeah. Especially with how little Disney cares.
Disney.
And Saban, I should clarify, both didn't really care. Anyway.
One last thing in that same vein, from @Ranger Locations on Twitter, they recently found the location that was used for both Prince Philip's mansion and McScary Manor, which is a castle in Denmark that has overhead stock footage of it that you can buy for just like $300 apparently.
I mean, Power Rangers is a relatively cheap production, so I get it.
I'm more so impressed that they used an actual building for that. I thought that, like, first of all, I didn't realize that Prince Philip's mansion and McScary Manor were the same place. Second of all, I thought those were both sets.
Yeah, they did shoot them in a very set-like way. Although this is kind of the first time I've heard about Prince Philip since ever? I don't know, I did watch Dino Charge, but
since Dino Supercharge ended, at least.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think his actor went to a Power Morphicon, but I haven't heard much about him or anything to do with the character since.
I don't really
Which is
care.
a real shame, because Prince Philip was one of my favorite things about the show.
Oh yeah, I do like that name. Oh yeah, your name is good. I don't really care about your story arc, but that name. Yeah.
I really liked his character arc.
Oh yeah, I did. I just making a joke.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Should I go first or you?
Bitch, this is my fucking show.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay, I'll stand aside.
So, we've talked about numerous times in the past a lot of problems the Lightning Collection has been having with actual releases as of late. Since they moved their factories from China to Vietnam, and we got the Ninjetti Ranger wave, there have been a lot of ongoing problems, such as missing or duplicate parts, figures being fragile out of the box in ways they really shouldn't be, and just stuff more extreme than like the minor paint or detail errors that had been seen on the figures up till then, which I'll remind you all I was fine with. Like, I've long been a person where you don't have to get every little detail right. It's cool when you do, but as long as you get the general look down and you still have good articulation and it resembles the thing it's supposed to be and has some cool features, I'm usually into a figure. I don't need those exquisite, like, right on the spot details. But there have been problems with consistency of details with the Lightning Collection in the past, which has irked me a slight bit, especially because it's been mostly present in the SPD Rangers. But recently it's gotten to a bit of a fervor because we got an in-hand report of SPD Yellow from a retailer in Singapore where somebody got the figure and they got an entire duplicate set of accessories. We're talking 2 helmets, 2 of each alternate hands, 2 of each of the weapons, 2 of the morpher. Just everything in the box was duplicated, which means either they just really screwed up, or even worse, there's a SPD Yellow out there somewhere with no accessory. And to make matters worse, the second batch of the current Lightning Collection wave started shipping out from Amazon, and a lot of people started getting that in hand. And we were low-key hoping that some of the problems with that wave might be fixed in a second batch. And they weren't! A lot of Izzies have just been breaking right out of the box because, for those of you who aren't aware, the Dino Fury Green Ranger figure has a charming little defect where, because it's they're now packaging the figures with the civilian heads on and the helmet packaged as an accessory, if you want to pose it like a ranger, you have to head swap it right out of the box. And when most people go to head swap their Dino Fury Greens, Izzy's entire neck joint has just been popping out of the socket with the upper torso splitting in half. Let's see, what else? Oh yes, somebody was lucky enough to get a crazy rare defect. I've literally never seen this happen with a Hasbro figure before, where just the entire front of the headpiece is missing from a Dino Fury Green. I didn't even realize those helmets were 2-piece parts. But apparently they are, and apparently you can just be missing the entire front of a helmet. What else happened? Oh yeah, Blue Centurion shipped out early this week, and the first in-hand report had duplicate hands, duplicate badges, duplicate holsters, and I believe they said he was actually missing an accessory, though I can't recall which one. Oh, didn't come with the closed holster accessories. Another Izzy arrived from Amazon and was just completely broken right out of the box. The neck joint was not in the upper torso, and the upper torso was not connected to the lower torso. So, in response to all these reports, a lot of people in the fandom have been calling for a straight-up boycott of the Lightning Collection, with a few people in particular, like Toku Chris, straight up canceling their pre-orders and encouraging others to do the same. At Willie Cole, actually, who is somebody I don't usually interact with, but he did a great thing here where he said he was working on a project and he wanted everybody to reply to a particular tweet with as many error reports from recent Lightning Collection releases as they could find, which brought up things again like loose joints, parts put on backwards, incorrect fan art symbols being applied to figures, paint apps straight up being printed on the back of bodies. Even in one case, somebody got an effects part with bugs stuck in the plastic. Straight up dead bug carcasses stuck in your clear plastic effects piece. And Hasbro, guys, fellas, folks, buddies, pals, you know I love you. But what the ever-loving shit is going on? I have never, in my life, as an adult toy collector, seen a line so strewn with defects and errors. This is downright embarrassing to me as somebody who has been cheerleading for Hasbro to be in charge of the franchise and do a good job with it since before it was even announced they had bought the franchise. Go back, and if you want to fucking dig through my Twitter, you can find the day they announced Bandai had lost the license. I was like, well, my fucking pipe dream would be Hasbro, but it'll probably go to like Mattel or Jazzwares or somebody. And then when Hasbro got it, I felt like I had won the fucking lottery. And for the most part, Lightning Collection has been rather good to me. Again, there's been some minor paint errors here and there on figures, but nothing that has outright ruined a figure for me. But this last couple batches of releases is absolutely ridiculous and embarrassing to me as a lifelong Hasbro fan and collector. I am not at the point where I'm ready to boycott along with everybody else, but man, I am feeling extremely selective about my release, my ordering right now. Like, I haven't bought a Lightning Collection figure since Dino Fury Red, but when I get my next one, oh boy, you know I'm gonna be sweating. And I'm not gonna order it from Hasbro Pulse. I'll order it from somebody else, because, little PSA for those of you out there, if you try to get something replaced through Hasbro's customer care service, unless it's a special case like the White Ranger, the Dino Thunder White Ranger helmet issue, which, need I remind everybody, because people have been clouding on that again in this light, they did fix that. They did own up to that and fix and offer a replacement service for that. This, though, there's been no word on it, and if you go and try and ask Hasbro themselves for a replacement, you are playing the lottery, because the way Hasbro handles replacements is they'll go, oh, we're sorry about that, provide us with proof of purchase, and we'll provide you with an item of equal or greater value. Which means you could get the same figure, but you could also get a different figure from the same wave. You could get an older figure from another wave, or you could randomly get an SDC exclusive that they had lying around. It just depends on what is in the Pulse warehouse for that brand that's not selling at the moment. So, I'm not going to say boycott Lightning Collection, but buyer fucking beware, and do not buy from Pulse until they fix this issue. Buy from sites that will give you an exact replacement, like Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth or one of those reputable retailers. And honestly, I think they deserve to lose a lot of sales from this issue, because it's flat out ridiculous that they would provide product of this poor quality when brands like Transformers, G.I. Joe, other in-house Hasbro brands, and even some brands that they're paying an exorbitant license fee for, like Fortnite and Star Wars and Marvel, are having slight quality control issues, but nowhere near this level. A lot of those figures still arrive exactly as they're supposed to. I've only seen like a handful of Marvel Legends issues in the last 6 months or so, and G.I. Joe Classified, whenever I see issues for that, it really comes off like somebody just forced a joint too far. But in this case, the figures straight up aren't arriving, aren't working the way they're supposed to, which is fucking ridiculous. I don't want to call for a boycott, but I think we might need to start some sort of hashtag along the lines of change factories already. That's maybe not the nicest way to put it. Maybe we should put it somewhere like move the LC factory, hashtag move the LC factory. Do we want to get that trending? I don't know. I'm not a big, well-known fandom figurehead, so I can't make those kind of decisions. But oh boy, I wish we would trend that way, because that is clearly the problem. There were issues with the line before the move to Vietnam, but not to this extent. The line has become borderline unpurchasable because of the quality control standards at this factory, or should I say, lack thereof. I'm done.
Alright, I guess I'll give my side of this, concerning story. So, I've kind of noticed a lot of this I think a bit before Vac. I think I kind of, like, alluded to. It's why I remember talking to him in, like, DMs and being like, Hey, has G.I. Joe or Marvel Legends have issues like Power Rangers? Because it feels like we're always getting the short end of the stick. And, like, granted, I don't do Lightning Collection. I do the kids line. And I can speak for, like, myself. The kids line's doing okay. It's doing fine.
But as we've learned
I think...
several times with all of Hasbro's brands, the kids lines are a separate team from the collector line.
Yeah. So, like, kids line, you're fine, okay? But, like, collector line, what the hell is going on? Like, I can kind of see all this being a compound. It's not just the factories. There's the plastic-free packaging and switching it about, like, the plastic-free packaging. Just the lack of care. Like, not care, but, like, just the lack of people.
Oh my god, I forgot to mention, somebody got a coda this week with putrid accessories. Yeah.
I can't. This is the 30th anniversary, 5th year on the brand. What the hell is going on?
Like, again, we've talked about this before. They switched factories, and they've been trying to hire a quality control manager for the new factory. But at this point, I don't think that's gonna fix it unless you're gonna recall a bunch of shit that's already on the water. You need to just straight up put out a press release saying, hey, we gotta call a mulligan on the stuff that's coming out right now, and we're gonna get new batches of all that done, and we're moving to a new factory. That's what needs to happen here.
Some communication. They need to freaking pull the Tylenol and just freaking, okay, we'll accept all refunds. Like, at this point, like, if you want to win any goodwill, and I already complained that Power Rangers fans are, like, insane to win goodwill with, so just, frick it. Just refund everyone, okay? Not everyone, but like...
I agree they should do that, but I have never seen a company of Hasbro's size do something like that with something like this.
Yeah, this is just pie in the sky wishing right now, but like... And the problem is, this isn't Marvel, this isn't Star Wars, it's Power Rangers. Nobody gives a shit. Even though it's just...
Well, I wouldn't word it that way. It's not nobody gives a shit, it's a very small amount of people give a lot of shits. And if you piss those people off, all your money for this brand is gone.
Yeah, you only got the casual crossover cash, and I don't even know how that's gonna function because of all these issues.
Oh my god, if the fucking remasters figures have this problem...
Oh, we're gonna hear oh...
That's the fucking death nail for this line, if the casuals get pissed off.
Oh... And, I already saw the Street Fighter figures, someone in my Discord was saying, hey, I got the Chun-Li figure, and it had 2 left feet. 2 left feet on instead of 1 left and 1 right, it had 2 left feet. They freaking screwing up the Street Fighter thing, which I was super excited for. You know what, I'm gonna say it. I want to have copium that this wasn't as worse as the last week's Kamen Rider Kuga manga situation, but no, this is equally as worse. What the hell's going on?
I actually think this is worse because this isn't one product. This is a whole line of products having similar issues simultaneously.
It's ridiculous. It's insane. It's the 30th anniversary. What the hell?
Not just, the 30th anniversary adds extra shit onto it, yeah, but just, the fact that this would happen with a Hasbro toy line where, in this 6-inch style that they have pioneered and made the industry standard over the last, 10 years, the fact that... it's the only one that's having this level of problems. Again, there have been minor issues with Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, and G.I. Joe Classified over the last year, but nowhere near as bad as it has been with the Power Rangers line. I hate to keep harping on the same point, but we can literally pinpoint when this started, and it's when figures produced in that Vietnam factory started coming out. That
and
is
also plastic-free packaging. I also argued that.
No, this dates back to before plastic-free packaging. The Ninja figures were window boxes.
Oh yeah! God damn it. Okay, yeah. I got it. I'd argue it made it worse. Sorry.
It probably did, but I don't think it's inherently the problem. I think the problem is just... I don't think there's anyone overseeing quality control at this factory right now. And they need to fix that shit or just straight up go to a new factory.
What are we gonna do? No, we can't do anything. I've had a shit month. I've been having a shit year so far, and this just doesn't make it better.
I don't know. If anybody's listening to this, clip this rant out. Tweet it at Hasbro. Tweet it at the Power Rangers brand team members. Send this shit to John Warden. #ChangeTheLC Factory.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. What do we do?
All we can, like, in reality, well, it's certainly been fun to kick up a storm and scream and whine and wave my arms these last few minutes. I doubt Hasbro will actually see this, even if people get it trending. Which, hey, give it a shot. It's worthwhile. But the only way to make big companies understand, and we've seen this recently with things like what happened with D&D and what happened with Netflix this last week, the only thing these companies understand is money. Vote with your wallets. If you have pre-orders, cancel them. Wait for things to come in stock and get in-hand reports. And even then, be selective. Don't, like, I know it's fun for team completion and to buy the whole line. Josh, fucking stop. Pick your favorites. And make sure that they're going to come out good. And even then, don't buy them directly from Hasbro. Don't buy through Pulse anymore. Buy through Amazon and whatnot. And I know that sucks to say, because there are certain countries where a lot of, I'm not sure if Lightning Collection is, but I know like Classified and one or two other lines are Pulse exclusives in certain areas of Europe and whatnot. But like, if you really want to buy them, if you really want to get your favorites, go through those fan site retailers that charge like $10 more. Because the only way Hasbro is going to listen is if they're losing money on this. And they're seeing the online response. Because those two things have to go hand in hand. If they just lose money on it, then they're going to think people suddenly lost interest on Power Rangers, and they might just cancel the line. But if they see us kicking up a storm and not sending them money, then it's possible they might see that the two things are connected. It's complicated, and I know I've sent some mixed signals throughout this rant, but something's got to be done. This is fucking ridiculous.
I'm tired. This week has been draining, and this isn't helping.
Well, that is all the news that's fit to print. So, Buster, do you need a breather, or should we just go on to new releases?
I'll edit and clip the rant to post on Twitter when the episode comes out.
Sick.
But first, it's time for new releases. Hey!
Hey!
All right. First up,
everybody, let's go.
Yeah, let's consume. God damn, no, okay, not that. All right. First, we got a special thing to start off with. Now, this came out last week, but Vac didn't put it in the list, and I'm like,
I didn't know about it until like 2 days after we did the show.
Yeah, I thought he knew because I've been tweeting about it. I don't know. Maybe it just got cluttered in between other things.
Yeah.
Anyway, the indie tokusatsu film filmed completely on iPhones. Orc.
So I'm going to start off with the positive here.
This was cute.
I think the suits are really good. Like
really
these are Toei level suits. I was surprised with how good these suits look, not just in design but in motion. I think the choreography for a lot of the fights is really good. These are clearly people with actual martial arts experience and have some level of effects knowledge because there's quite a bit of actual practical effects work going on here. That's where my good points end.
Oh.
I did not like a lot of this story. A lot of it felt very trite and like half-assed retread of concepts I've seen before. Most of these characters come off like assholes or completely innocent parties caught up in a bunch of bullshit, who aren't inherently likable themselves. And the directing feels like the cinematography in this movie, I should say, feels really up its own ass. There's so many like shots that are trying so hard to look really cool and artistic and get that like indie film buff crowd going crazy. And I'm like, I mean, that looks nice, but you didn't have to go that hard. You didn't. Jesus Christ, Greg, it's fucking tokusatsu.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah. Because I do agree, like, the character work, like, this does feel like a first draft. But I think, like, you gotta, like, think about it from, like, with indie things, I like to think of it from their perspective, even if I'm not, like, the most, like, even if I'm not feeling the story as much. This is, like, a guy who's trying to be, like, you can do anything with just the simple phone. And he's trying a lot of things. And I think I respect that, and I think it's cool. Also, to double back on the suits, I love how simplistic the suits are, because the suits are basically just jackets. They're just jackets, and it's great.
They're jackets and helmets.
Yeah, jackets and helmets with some gloves. And with sneakers, you can see, like, here's a full, like, I'm gonna send Vac a full image, and you can just see they're just wearing, like, normal-ass shoes, and it's amazing. It just shows, like, simplicity, like, is good, you know? Like, simple, like, it's okay if you don't have the highest budget, you can still produce something that people are gonna be talking about. And I do agree the writing could use some work. I like the idea of the message, but I don't think it was executed, like, it wasn't clear enough.
I like the idea of the message too. I just don't like it as much as when I saw it the first time in Kamen Rider Wizard.
I mean, like, indie things are gonna be like a bit like, you know, they're a bit derivative. Like, and even then, I don't really think derivative means bad. So, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like, I will allow for the fact that, like, they themselves, and this is clearly mostly entirely Japanese speaking people making this, they did the subtitles themselves, and, like, you could just tell these were not good subs. These were, like, borderline machine subs.
Oh yeah, maybe that was like part of my issue, because it's like with the character writing, because it didn't feel as natural. It felt very mechanical.
I mean, I was able to autocorrect a lot of the dialogue in my head. Like, okay, I think what they actually mean to say here is this. It's just they didn't get the grammar quite right. But, like, there are a few, like, hilarious mistranslations or just straight up non-translations. Like, there's a point during the final fight where, like, one of the characters is having their big "I found my resolve" speech, and right at the last line of it, instead of actually subtitling what he said, it's just a series of numbers that look like an IP address.
That was weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. And like, I understand, like, you can't pay for, like, a translator because of freaking, like, it's a low budget film. But also, if maybe just wait on an English release if you're gonna freaking.
I mean, they could have asked Tom Constantine. I'm sure he'd have helped out. What's he doing right now? He hasn't been on Geats in weeks.
Yeah, Geats in weeks.
But no, like, I didn't not. There weren't really any characters that I grabbed onto as likable. And, like, the subs certainly didn't help with that, but also, like, I understand you have to work with your means. And another area where I kind of feel similarly is just the editing. The editing in this is really amateurish. Like, there's a lot of fights that are just chopped to high hell, and there's some sloppy kind of effects and stuff that look like they just slapped it together in After Effects in 20 minutes. And there's one scene in particular where I just noticed a ton of continuity errors with cutting back and forth between two different perspectives, and that really bugged me. And it's like, on the one hand, This is an independent amateur production. I want to be a little forgiving. On the other, I'm a fucking Database Rangers Power Reviews fan, and that's a fan film that goes the extra mile when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Fair.
So, I don't know. This was a very mixed bag that kind of aired on the poor side for me. I wouldn't say, like, it's outright bad. I just didn't care for it personally. But you know what? Since it is an independent production and since it is only available online for a limited time, I think, I'll put a link to it down in the video description along with the news. If people want to check it out. It's a solid
passion project. You can tell it's like, this is a story this guy's been thinking about for a bit, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, it's only 45 minutes, so it's not a huge commitment, though personally for me, there were a couple points when I looked at the time code and I was like, really? We're only that far in? Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit late. The length, I don't think, was 100% justified.
So. The pacing's kind of slow.
Yeah, which, like, at points I get it, but at other points I'm like, come on, hurry up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's time for superhero time with Geats Week. No, it's...
Geats Week, oh my god. It's the Geats Sweep, everybody.
Geats Sweep. I mean, like, this was better than last episode, but whatever. Kamen Rider Geats, episode 21, Divergence 5, Gazer's Iron Hammer.
So I think this was, I agree with you, this was better than last week, but I still have some problem.
Alright, vent them out.
So I understand now why they did the big dramatic disaster reveal randomly at the end of last week's episode. In this episode, it makes sense that they did that But I also feel like you could have done that way better by having it be like an over-the-shoulder shot where you can't see Saya's face, and you're questioning like it's whether it's Saya or Neon, because they do look kind of similar from behind. And then you still get the kind of confusing reveal moment in this episode. I feel like you could have kept that all intact with just a simple change of perspective there. So, like, it's not as bad as I said it was last week, but it's still like a small problem for me. The other thing is, oh gosh, it's completely dropped out of my head. I spent so long ranting about Lightning Collection, I've forgotten Kamen Rider.
God damn it!
Damn you, John Hasbro!
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about good things with this episode.
Yeah, Gazer is basically, they just full in went with the Thouser like analogy, and I love it.
Oh yeah, he has a similar energy to Thouser, though I think his suit acting is pretty different.
Yeah.
And also I'm very into it. I like a lot of what the suit actor is doing here, keeping that kind of high society I'm above you attitude towards his body language.
Yeah, and even then, he freaking like he like, I like the little character arc he's been on for the last few episodes where he's like, oh yeah, Buffa being alive could make things feel real, because that's the word he likes using. He likes to make things real, gritty. He's like,
I feel like he's supposed to be a pastiche of film critics on some level, because he keeps talking about reality and fiction.
Yeah, I think more Kamen Rider fans, I think, because, you know, Takahashi has been very notable for killing and reviving characters, so, you know.
I will say, though, I'm not a fan of the Gazer suit. Those colors just don't work on that design for me.
It's better than I don't mind it, because they freaking like they tooled all the colors. They didn't just like freaking over demons it, you know. So I thought it works much better than other repaints of recent.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it could have been. It's just I don't particularly care for that color combo.
Also, Nudge Sparrow's already back.
Oh yeah. We get a whole lot of like info dumping in this episode where we find out that like actually the Jamato are like planning to overthrow the DGP, because apparently the way the DGP are able to recreate the world and grant people's desires is because they're in possession of some kind of like goddess of creation lady, and the Jamato people want to steal her and just like fuck around with the world to their heart's content
and find out.
And so like I can't believe it's not Azu is like putting together a whole team with Gardner Man and Buffa, and now Notch Sparrow was apparently a double agent the whole time.
Yeah, it's just I hope they bring back Dapon just so we can see those two nerds fight it out. I think that would be very
fucking hilarious if they become like a
rivals.
Not rivals, but like I'd love to see them have like an early Gridon and was it Dongri?
It was the two acorn boys from Gain.
Gridon and Kurokage have that kind of goofy buddy dynamic, but they're sadistic bastards.
Yeah, a bit more serious than like those two, but like still have same vibes. That would be fun. Yeah, I just kind of feel like we need to start bringing characters back, because we already know they're coming back. We already have a couple characters that are back. So
you all right over there? It sounds like the Geats plot alarm is going off.
Oh, that's freaking people are cooking. The Geats plot alarm. I mean, with how much plot is in this episode. Also, I'm like Lopo gets like just calmly discarded, not discarded, freaking.
Oh yeah, that was another problem I had with the episode where I was like, fucking Notch Sparrow just like immediately disintegrated after he got voted out. He had like 2 seconds to say something, and she gets to go in the other room and sulk for like a full minute.
I guess because like the Sumiri liked her better.
It's weird.
I mean, hey, what you gonna do?
Like how it let us get to see how Neon's character has evolved a bit, though.
Yeah, because it's like Lopo served as like an older sister figure to her. So
I do like the decision to actually make one of our main characters the Disaster, though. Especially because it's Neon. Like you could have I think if it was gonna be Keiwa, we would have known from the jump, and if it was Geats, then it would have completely broken the show. So having it be Neon is the optimal choice, and I like how they're playing it like she's kind of gone mad with power, or she's about to, where she has this big "the gloves come off next week" moment.
I hope it's a better execution of what they tried to do with Yua. That's all I got.
Yeah, definitely.
I do like the idea of just like, oh, the freaking, of course, like Neon would be the disaster because the parents are freaking, and the dad, he's probably gonna be doing some scheming later. So
yeah, that does make me wonder though, because last episode the dad said that like she's got a really good sponsor, and this week we see her meeting with Game Master. Is Game Master just straight up her sponsor?
could be just be like, you are going to be the one to be the game. Maybe it's just like it's
you
game
are
regular.
fucker supreme.
Yeah, and I do like the idea of just randomly being assigned being disaster. It again like Among Us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we kind of brushed past it. The whole goddess of desire thing. How much you want to bet that's Ace's mom, or the woman he's claiming is his mom?
I could see them being connected, but I wouldn't be a fan of that reveal. It just feels a bit too predictable.
It feels predictable, but it also very much feels like they've been hinting at that recently. Because you got to remember, his sponsor said, "But your mom doesn't have the name that you asked for," saying that was your mom. And Gazer has been trying to keep him away from that and gently playing him because he's like, I don't know why he thinks that person is his mom.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there
probably
might be
it's gonna happen.
There might still be some unreliable narrator shit with Ace going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of wait and see along with these Geats plot elements because it's I don't know. It just kind of feels like we're this entire arc has been entire build up and we're about to hit the fan soon.
Yeah, I did really like that scene though, where Ace meets with is it Nira or Nirma? Gazer's real name.
I forgot.
Okay, I'll just call him Gazer right now.
Yeah.
But Geats and Gazer meet up and they have a luncheon, and they're just casually poking and prodding at each other about oh, somebody who runs the DGP, that's not something a person of this era would be capable of. Oh, well, somebody who's won every round of the DGP, somebody of this era wouldn't be capable of that either. I see you're immortal as well. It had big Highlander vibes to it.
I can kind of see that. I thought you were gonna say Zoolander. I took that as Zoolander for a second.
I haven't even seen Zoolander, to be honest. I only know it for memes.
Same. That's what I heard. Anyway, but yeah. I mean, just it's a fine episode. I did like how Lopo was able to go peacefully, but I wish, because of how unique her helmet is, I wish we got a specific buckle that matched her helmet. Come on. I don't know. Maybe later.
Yeah. It's a better episode than last week, but it still has some niggling issues for me.
It's more just I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
We're in a holding pattern right now for the next big reveal.
Yeah, or just next big fight, which I hope is soon because I'm starting to feel a bit fatigued with Geats. Not gonna lie, it's good. It's just I don't know, man. I think I haven't watched Kamen Rider consistently week to week until Revice. Because before this podcast, I would take episodes and then I would watch them later. I'd take 5 to 10 episodes and then watch them later.
Oh, you'd watch it in chunks.
Yeah, chunks. So I think the week to week vibe is starting to get fatigued on me. I don't know. Anyway, Avatar Sentai Dawn Brothers, episode 47, the first start of the hell, not the hell, start of the end. The Dawn.
Sir, are you okay? It sounds like you had a stroke.
I might have. The Dawn Cerebro Summit.
Which is only slightly not as cool as the Modular Summit.
God damn it. Watch the Modular Summit videos. Anyway, so this is, we're in the final month of Dawn Brothers, and I'm scared as hell because it's I'm not ready to see the show go.
I really liked most of this episode. There was one little problem I had with it, but for the most part, I thought
just say right off the bat.
Okay, I don't have a problem with poking fun at the fact that you still haven't explained Kaito, but don't do that and then like make a big deal out of him without explaining him in the same fucking episode. Do either or.
Oh, they explained Kaito?
No, there's a bit at the beginning where Sonoi is like, "Who the fuck are you, by the way?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm someone special," and everybody's like, "Ah, god damn it." And then later in the episode, when Taro's dad shows up, he reacts to Kaito with like this insane fervor, like his own personal Jesus is in the room, and Kaito's just like, "Oh, that's not necessary," and everybody's like, "What the fuck? What was that about?" And it's like, just do either or. It doesn't work having those both in the same episode. It's stacking two opposite ways of handling the situation too close to each other, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. That's just kind of the Don Brothers way. You make jokes and you play it serious at the same time.
See, normally I would agree with you, but we're in the final arc now, and so much of this episode is dedicated to explaining or elaborating on explanations for things.
Yeah, it was very much a bottle episode. Just like, let's have these characters interact and freaking exchange notes, which like is fun. But also, man, I kind of wanted a bit more action, not gonna lie. I don't know, maybe just the shit week I've had, but Don Brothers didn't give me as much serotonin as I hoped.
See, I had the exact opposite effect. Getting all those little explanations and like reaffirmance of what is going on in the plot, when so much of Dawn Brothers has just been like borderline confusing batshit insanity. It feels really refreshing to me. Like, oh my god, in a way, you might actually do it. You might actually stick the landing here. I'm often somebody who likes a lot of those talky, just sitting around a room figuring out concepts and stuff kind of things. I mean, like, one of my favorite movies is The Man from Earth, which is a movie that is entirely just characters sitting in a room talking about a concept.
I mean, I don't think that's bad. It's just, I feel like, I don't know. Like, I was kind of like, I wanted something else. I want some, like, funny shit to cheer me up. But, like, you know,
there were a lot of jokes in this episode, though.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of fun stuff. It's just, it wasn't, like, visually, like, I don't know, it kind of felt like, just because I didn't need a bottle episode as well. This is just a personal bias because of just the shit week I've had. Okay?
Fair enough. But, like, I got a big kick out of the Sononi and Tsubasa stuff. Kijino was a fucking riot this whole episode.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of good gags in this episode. I especially love when Sonoshi and their fellas just be like, "Oh, look, we're just vibing," and it's like just a little like, I don't know. It's nice to get more interaction. I love how
realistic they're written, where like each of them is batshit insane in their own way, but apart to each other, they're both like, this person's fucking crazy. I wouldn't work with them if I didn't have to. Like that's something that actually happens in workplaces. So that was fun for me. And what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. I do like the rest of the scene where Taro's dad shows up, because like there's a lot you can read into in both his and Taro's body language in that scene, where like he's trying to take everything in and is like calmly enjoying his moment out of the prison, and like he even has this little moment at the end where he like wistfully looks back at Taro before going back, but the whole time Taro is just like so rigid and is helping him, but being kind of respectfully standoffish, if that makes sense. Yeah. And like he refuses to look back at his dad in that final moment, and that implies so much. Oh man, it makes me want to know how exactly his dad came to be the Guardian even more. But I'm also, with only 3 episodes left, I'm not going to get my hopes up.
Yeah, especially because this episode sets up basically like the freaking Jiro episode that everyone thought we were going to get this week.
I did laugh out loud, though, when I found out that they just straight up left Jiro there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed this episode a fair bit, and I'm looking forward to next week. I think the setup for how dangerous the last 2 Hitotsuki are, and how they're gonna have to deal with them, and Jiro potentially getting a huge glow up next week. Ooh, that seems super interesting.
Yeah, like it's freaking, the next episode's actually titled The 9 Dawn Brothers, so this was all hidden Q Ranger 2. This was Q Ranger 2 all along, baby.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was there was 12 main characters all along, and two of them didn't even show up, and one of them was only in one episode before they became a mainstay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still like Sonoshi and their gang, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
The bit where Sonoshi has like all his accessories just laid out and he's just playing with them like a squealing little boy. That was really funny.
Yeah, they're super cute.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything old to talk about this week, or should I just do like a little double recap?
Oh wait, I just realized it was my birthday and someone sent me the Ultraman Nexus DVD set.
Hey!
I haven't got a chance to pop it in, but I heard the quality is good. From others, and my set actually arrived in case with no like breaking parts.
Well, hey, I mean that's Mill Creek. There's not been a whole lot of issues with Mill Creek.
Yeah, I think Gridman was the biggest issue with Mill Creek, but that's been a bit. So, yeah, the Nexus set's pretty good. It lines up next to my shelf. Like, I also ordered the Ryuki and Black set, so I'm kind of reorganizing my Toku shelf. Like, I used to have all the Neo Saban Power Ranger seasons on there, but then I just decided to remove them and put them somewhere else, because I'm like, do I really want that to be part of the Toku display? You know? So I put the Garo sets I had in there. But the Nexus set looks great. It kind of feels disappointing because all of the packaging don't have unique printing. The discs basically just use the case. Cover all of the discs except Ultraman the Next. Which uses its own unique cover art, which makes sense. It's its own movie. But I heard it's because Nexus isn't like super popular, or according to Super I mean, Nexus is popular, but it wasn't popular at the time. It took a while to get its fan base. It's the third strike of Ultraman shows. So yeah, that's really the only thing. I did watch some O's with a friend. Just like showing them. I've been showing them Kamen Rider for the first time, so I've been watching O's with a friend, and that's pretty fun. Getting to O's is one of my favorites, so.
Yeah, O's is a good show.
Yeah, I like O's a lot. And so it's their first Kamen Rider, so I'm happy I'm showing them too. And also, I just sent my friend a link for Kamen Rider build, so hopefully they're gonna enjoy it soon. So.
Oh, nice. That's O's isn't a bad choice.
Yeah. Well, I started. Another friend. I'm showing one friend O's, but another friend I gave build. So I'm like, it just like lined up with a lot with their sensibilities. So I'm like, screw it.
Fair enough.
I'll start, like, I usually don't want to start with build because build is my favorite, and that's like the peak in my opinion. Like, you're kind of like going from.
It's your baby. You don't want people to judge it too harshly before you've already gauged their opinions on stuff.
Well, not even that. It's just like I want you to see like the standard and then the above standard for Kamen Rider. So if that makes sense. I don't know. It's a weird philosophy. But talk about Double.
I watched 4 more episodes of Double this week. Again, because I'm moving to a new work schedule, I'm probably going to be watching a little less Double every week, or a little less old stuff every week, because I'm just going to be having less lunch breaks. But did manage to get 4 episodes in this week, and they were pretty good. They were mostly done in one stuff, like a little bit of advancements.
Did you get to the sleeping episode?
Yeah, I think that was the last couple episodes I watched. And that episode was fine for the most part. They're getting close to the big face-off with Weather. They're kind of hinting at the final form. The most interesting thing that really happened in this batch of episodes is just that, like, Shroud had a big interaction with Philip and tried to lure Philip away from Shotaro and said that Shotaro's actually a bad person. You shouldn't be hanging out with Shotaro. He's a bad influence on you, Philip. And I find that very interesting, but we've yet to get like any kind of elaboration on the reasons for that. So a little up in the air at the moment.
Oh, trust me, you will get elaboration.
Yeah, I'm sure. But at the moment, Double's still rolling along just fine. Didn't particularly like impress me more than it already has been this last week, though. But I think that is everything for this week in Toku. So, Buster, why don't you tell the folks out there in internet land where they can find you?
Oh, hi, I'm True Buster / Buster Corp. I just got the Buster Corp channel back. We did it, boys! But I don't know what to upload there. So for now, subscribe to True Buster, where I re-uploaded my infamously taken down Black Sun review with new edits to make sure it doesn't get taken down. But also last week, I uploaded the Transformers animated video. It's finally out. I've been kind of teasing it, but I had to push it back for reasons. But now it's here. I think people liked it enough, so go watch it. And
as a longtime Transformers fan, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, he liked it, so freaking watch it so I'll cover more Transformers series. I don't know. Also, I'm at Twitter at BusterBully3. I'm also at Tumblr at BustersCorp, but I need to use Tumblr more because Twitter sucks.
Yeah. Hey, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos about tokusatsu and things. You can find them at the Vacuuminator. Go over there and subscribe. I just put out a Jetman video talking about my big issue with the show that I've expressed on here before. And tomorrow I'm going to be dropping a full series review of Ultraman Decker. So if you want to get more of my thoughts on Decker, despite probably having already listened to them week by week, you can go watch that. Be sure to follow me on social media at the Vacuuminator on Twitter, thevacuuminator.tumblr.com, and at _Vacuuminator on Instagram. But folks, that is it for this week in Toku. So, oh man, we'll see you back here for whatever happens that week in Tokusatsu.